Hello, everyone. My name is Ian Aberback. I'm a fourth year student here at Bloomsburg University, and the topic I'll be discussing today is the ethnic cleansing of the Rohingya. The Rohingya are a small Muslim minority in the country of Myanmar, previously known as Burma. And what sparked my interest and the reason why I'm doing this project is that I found it quite interesting after hearing about all these atrocious acts against these people in Dr. Ding's class and other classes that I have. Just found it quite interesting that the government of Myanmar, the ones committing these violent acts against the Rohingya, are of the Buddhist faith. And generally, when I think of Buddhists, I think of a peaceful religion that teaches having love and compassion for your fellow human beings. But obviously, this is not the case. The UN even said, and I quote, the most persecuted minority in the world when talking about the Rohingya. This is just another example of the fact that no religion, regardless of its core values, is safe or untainted from human nature. Religion can be a very effective tool for those in power to maintain that power and oppress others who do not follow suit with their own ideologies. Let's start with the Rohingya and their roots in Myanmar. The Myanmar government and the majority of its citizens agree that the Rohingya are invaders of their country, but this is just not true. The Rohingya have been in Myanmar since the early 1400s, where they settled in the Arakan state, which was a coastal empire located in modern-day Myanmar. It was in 1784 when the Burmese Empire conquered the Arakan state, making it a part of the country as a whole. In 1824, Burma was conquered by the British Empire, who maintained control of the country until 1948. The British government had promised the Rohingyas a sovereign state for them to call home for their efforts in helping them during World War II. But similarly, what's happening to the Kurds today happened to the Rohingya then, and this promise was never kept. And it was also doubled with the fact that many other Muslim workers were moving in the country at this time, around the end of World War II, and the Burmese government grouped all the Muslims together, calling them the Rohingya. So, regardless of the fact that they had been there for centuries or if they had just moved in, they had no rights, they had no place to live, they had no place to call home. Post World War II, in 1948, with Myanmar becoming independent from Great Britain, really marked the start of the persecution of the Rohingya people. I say this because now that the Myanmar government was independent from Great Britain, they could do whatever they wanted, really. And from then on, they really set the system up to be against the Rohingya. This new government did not have a place for the Muslims to call their own, nor did they recognize Rohingya as people there at all. Regardless if they had been there for hundreds of years, tracing their bloodline back to the Arakan state, or if they were newer Muslims, they're all deemed Rohingya, giving Muslims really zero representation in this country. Myanmar does recognize 135 different ethnic groups, so this is just further proof that the Rohingya are being specifically targeted. Ever since the Burmese government came into its own in 1948, they have been doing everything in their power to deter the Rohingya from staying in their country. Many laws specifically targeted at the Rohingya were passed. The Rohingya have strict rules on marriage and having children, and since they are not considered citizens, they have zero rights, meaning no access to any social services or education. Amongst the worst of these human rights violations committed against the Rohingya and just blatant targeting of their people were Operation King Dragon, which was in 1978, and Operation Clean and Beautiful Nation, 1991 to 1992. This is where the Myanmar government utilized military forces to go into the Rohingyan territory and use any means necessary to get the Rohingya to leave. And when I say any means necessary, I mean any means necessary. They raped the Rohingya, destroyed and burned their villages to the ground, and made many unlawful arrests in an effort to get rid of the Rohingya. Over 200,000 Rohingya fled from Myanmar to Bangladesh after these operations. In conclusion, will this ever be settled? Unfortunately, and I hate to say it, I truly believe that things will only get worse for the Rohingya until they are finally driven from Myanmar. Unless there is some major regime changes in Myanmar or there are some humanitarian efforts to help these people from some major countries like the United States or Great Britain, I think the Myanmar government will eventually succeed in their ethnic cleansing of the Rohingya. No one in this country will help them, and as non-citizens they have zero representation, so they cannot even help themselves. Rohingyan rebels did try to stage an attack on the Myanmar military forces in 2017, but this was futile and just a bad idea because all it did was reinforce the idea to the Myanmar government and its people that they want these people out of their country. This event has made things worse now than ever for the Rohingya, as the Myanmar government is cracking down on them even harder than before. Of the around 1 million Rohingya in Myanmar before the 2017 attack, 723,000 have fled to camps around the Bangladesh border. Hopefully, this video was informative and can help shed some light onto this issue and this seemingly forgotten group of people. Thank you.